called Hutchins, and I'm here at our North Little Rock location, and I've worked here for 40 years. Well, Gary Lewis, friend of mine that I've known all my life, he had went to work at Pella. Just told me about the job. They were needing some help, and so a couple of days later, went down and applied, and went to work. I think just in a couple of days. Been here ever since. Can't tell you exactly, what made me or wanted me want to stay here. I needed a job, and at that time, the pay wasn't real well, but we were getting a lot of overtime. So that kind of helped with the money side of things there. When I first went to work for Pella, working in the warehouse, we kept a few units in stock, and we actually put the windows together. So I'd done that for quite a while, and then I got promoted to driving the truck and delivering windows. I don't know that was a good promotion because a lot of long hours. You'd have to start out early in the morning taking product to the job sites. And when I was delivering, we delivered everything up to from here to Northwest Arkansas to Springfield, and sometimes that would be a round trip. So you'd start out maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you may not get home until 8 o'clock that night, going to all those locations. And then got promoted to doing some service work. Did that for a little while, and then fast forward to the year 2000, I started selling. At that time, the owner, Mike Irby, asked me if I thought I could sell a window, and I thought, well, I'll see if I can. So, but then it just kind of took off. So I started selling windows, but we had no installers to put those in. So I actually did that a time or two. I would sell the product, and I might go out and install it. Then it came to we needed to pre-finish the interior of the windows because customers wanted that interior pre-finished. So that was an eventful task there, not only selling the product, but running and gunning to get those paint colors and then having to paint those windows. Being able to go to a customer's house and work with them and show them the vision of taking those old windows out and different options of what you can do to make their house look better, and being able to do that and then help them transform it from what they had to replacing that and that finished product that they were just, most of the time, they're just really, really pleased and happy. And in some cases, I've sat with customers that, they cried after we put those windows in, and it turned out so well. So that's a good feeling. I grew up family farm. We farmed. We raised soybeans and in the early years, cotton and corn, and wheat, and we had cows on that farm. And I also grew up in a grocery store. My mom and dad had a grocery store. Going from working 7 days a week in that grocery store and on the farm to having the weekends off that was great for me. As far as training the sales position, I kind of watched Mike Moore and Tommy Puckett. I learned a lot from them and still learn. Tommy Puckett is a great asset to this company because he will take the time to figure out a problem or show you how to we go to Tommy every day because we do the same thing, but he has a different approach to figuring out problems and issues with windows and doors and all those things involved. 2004, 2005, my daughter Brooke came to work here at Pella. So I would say that was a highlight of in the workplace, having my daughter work with me. I really enjoyed that. And Brooke, at the time when she started, she was doing just each and everything that they needed her to do in the office. But she eventually worked the showroom floor and was very good at selling windows. She was good with customers. and she could talk to customers, show them the product, and really sell the job for me. I basically would then go to their house and finalize things, measure and finalize. And the customers always told me what a joy she was to work with. I've been married for 42 years, so um, like this job, once I settle in on something, I stick with it. We actually had a guy that at that old place where I first worked, I don't think he liked his wife. So about 3 o'clock, seems like about 3 o'clock every day, he would come up with something else for us to have to do and stay late to get it finished. So it was a lot of long hours back then. So that, it helped the paycheck, so sometimes that would, get in the way, but no, she's always been supportive of, and she likes everyone here at Pella and all that. Well, today, when you walk in the door and they hire you, the first thing you are going to do, you're going to go through some pretty long training, and so my advice is, go through your training, listen to what they're telling you to do, and then follow all of those guidelines. That will help you. But what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. Listen to your customers, be honest, and because there's plenty of other window and door companies out there they're not all honest. So just shoot them straight. You'll come out better in the long run. Well, starting out, like I say, I come to work for Gerald Horton, and he owned Pella, but he also owned a drywall insulation business here in Little Rock. And so he was a nice guy. I got along with him very well. But it was more crack a whip type boss. He'd come around. You work hard all day, and you finally take a break at 10:30 in the morning. You started at 6, 10:30, you take a break. You haven't seen the boss until you sit down to take a break. And he was like, "Are y'all going to sit around all day?" Well, we just now sitting. So, but he was a good person to work for. Then Mike Irby came along. He was a great guy to work for. I think 8 years ago, Mike Farquhar come along and saved the day, because we didn't know that we were about to all get our pink slips the following week, But so that day that he come, the first time I remember meeting Mike was we had a mandatory meeting, and we've never had a mandatory meeting, So you knew it was something serious, or big about to happen. And yeah, he came along at the right time and kept all of our jobs, And he's great. He's just a great person. He is the most caring. As far as a boss, he looks out for each and every employee. He wants you to be successful, and he will do everything that he can to help you be successful. Not working, I'm outside doing something. I love the outdoors. I like to hunt. I like to fish. We have a place on Greers Ferry Lake here. We go there every weekend. Even in the fall, if we're not on the lake, we're around the lake. We have side-by-sides that we go on rides and do that. And hunting season is open. It's upon us, so it's time to get in the woods and get after those deer and stuff like that. But your goal in life is to work and retire. You work all your life, 40 years, 50 years, and then retire and enjoy a few. So yeah, I'm ready for that day. It's not here yet, and I'm not sure what day that'll be. But that's one of the questions I'm asked, daily is, how long have you worked for Pella? And I'll tell them 40 years. And here just, in August, August was 40 years, and they're just shocked. They're like, 40 years, man, they must pay good. Look, it pays better now than what it did way back then. But yeah, and when you tell them you've worked there 40 years, then they know it's a company that's been around a long time, and that helps. They're on the right track to work with fellow products of Arkansas and Missouri right here in North Little Rock, Arkansas.